Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another update here from the PGSMP. Today, we're going to be looking at a couple of interesting things regarding some off-camera work that I've done. As you can see, I do have my Elytra up and running. I've been using that a fair bit. I also was able to go to the end and make a very successful run, getting away with a couple of extra elytras that I've got tucked away for safekeeping, as well as, well, I did have a full stack of shulker shells, but I bartered it away for some enchants that I desperately needed on some of my armor, which is actually looking quite nice, all things considered, including this little chest plate that I have over here for when I don't have the elytra equipped. But let's be honest, that's going to be more often than not that I'm wearing the elytra rather than the chest plate. But before we really run into anything else, there's something weird going on, and I was kind of vaguely aware of this being a possibility, but if you look here, there's an arrow that is just kind of hanging out here in this bamboo. It's been here for almost a week. And I know that I'm not the first person calling this sort of attention to that, but I don't want to touch it because it's honestly kind of super cool and a niche item. So we'll just kind of have to keep an eye on this and see if it disappears or if it just stays here indefinitely. But the other things that we've set up since then is you are aware that I had my pink wool farm, which is doing quite well, actually. And I need to see how the shears are doing. They're still very, very full. And I'd added 2 additional nodes to this just for some standard wool collection. I haven't been at the base as frequently with running around, so of course those ones are lagging a bit behind, as they would anyway, but they'll eventually overtake the progress that I have on the pink wool. One other update that I have real quick before we run off to our next little project here is over here, I was able to clear out a lot of these trees that were responsible for the creeper explosion, and hopefully it's not a trend that a creeper sneaks up on me in every episode, but we'll have to see how that goes. But over here is kind of where I'm thinking that I'm going to want to set up my actual base build, and I'm going to need to do that sooner rather than later because, well, there's a lot of nasty stuff in all of my chests, and I just need to make sure that I get a better method of, sorting through everything. The chicken farm is back up and running, so that's a positive. And the last item we have is I was able to get myself a little villager over here who sells me mending and flame books as well as Curse of Vanishing, but I honestly don't know when or if I'm ever going to use that. I do need to see if I can get my hands on another villager that I can train up as a mason or a farmer or something else. But enough goofing around. Let's cut to the chase of what we're going to do today. We're going to go over to the mesa biome, and I'm going to retrieve, hopefully, what will be some coral and some sea pickles, because I'm pretty sure that there's a warm or tropical ocean there, but I'm not certain. So let's go ahead and run over in that general direction. Now for the mesa biome that we're working in, one thing that makes this very, very easy to remember is, let's see, it's at minus 1600. The portal is right on a very nice and easy coordinate to remember. It's on negative 1660 and 1660. So we'll just want to fly off in that general direction. I'll probably eventually put down some carpets to help me track onto that a little bit easier. But for now, we're just going to kind of find it the old-fashioned way. Right there, that's where she's at. So we'll kind of swoop in here, make our way through, and hopefully, if my memory serves correctly, we'll have the items that we need or be able to get the things that we need out of the ocean that's right here close. Now, this is our designated area for mining away terracotta for builds. I know that not everyone uses terracotta, and yes, I did remember correctly that there are the components we're looking for down here. So we need to grab ourselves some of these sea pickles, and we also need a way to continue making sea pickles, which is going to be accomplished by, I think you can just have one of any coral block, which you have to mine with Silk Touch. But just in case, I'm going to grab one other piece here. Or maybe I'll see if I can get one in each of the colors. But I don't want to strike things out of formations here. Let's see. There's one we can grab from right here. There's also a really cool thing that you can do with these fan corals that I might see if I can integrate into my build. But we're missing... We have the brain coral. We just need the yellow one, whichever that one is. And right here, this one looks like our winner. Now, I'm pretty sure that you can put sea pickles on any of these, but one can never be too cautious. So, there's a pufferfish right there. And just like that, we were able to fly out of here. So, successful reconnaissance mission there. And now, it's just to set up the magic once we get back home. Alright, so we've made our way back here. And now it's time for us to finish up kind of the setup we have here. So we're going to need to take this sea pickle and our bone meal. So let's put this guy here. Is there a reason that you're not waterlogging? You should be. There we go. Now he's waterlogged. And now, if I'm correct, yes, this is what we needed to do in order to farm up sea pickles, which is good, because that's definitely what the hope and intended purpose was. I don't know why that guy didn't waterlog initially, because that one was just fine there. Now, I know you're asking yourself, why are we bone mealing these sea pickles? And if, in case you're not aware, what sea pickles will do for you, and it looks like I can only do this 3 more times with the bone meal that I have on me, but what sea pickles will do for you is they allow you to create lime dye. And I do have plans to eventually get reliable sources of dye for all of the different methods in the game. But this one gives us a good starting point and a place where we can kind of set up to farm that initially. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start color coding some of our shulker boxes here, mainly because I don't know if anyone else is using any sort of color coordination. So we're going to throw, 13 should be enough. We'll throw 13 of these sea pickles into this furnace here. We're going to go ahead and box up the rest of them. I have started to segment off the organics into their own chest, so we'll go ahead and save up the rest of these sea pickles in here for when we eventually need them or can come back to them. And then, did I put the pink flowers in there as well? I did not. I think I used them all up, but I do have this one over here that I can bone meal if I need to. But the pink dye is going to be quite useful for the next step that we're going to pull off here. And that is to help with some of our inventory management. Okay, just like that, we have ourselves our increased inventory space. And I'm going to need to put some of these books down so I can grab the freshly smelted lime dye out of there. And now we can start color coordinating some of these shulker boxes. Of course, we're going to have our pink one. We're going to have our lime one. So we've got nice colors there. I'm probably going to rename these at some point, but as you can see, I am fairly low on levels due to a lot of the leveling up that I've been working on doing. So that's going to have to come at a slightly later date. I believe somewhere in here I also have some cocoa beans. I do. So let's go ahead and place this down. We'll get one of those cocoa beans out here because I do not to farm those up. But in the meantime, we're going to get ourselves a brown dye as well. And I'm going to start treating this shulker box as my wallet. As a matter of fact, I know I don't have a whole lot of levels, but I'm going to go ahead and rename this one. So it doesn't... if it falls into someone's hands, we will then know who it belongs to. So I'm going to start hosting a lot of my valuables in here and carrying that with me. Basically everywhere, essentially. Now I think that's the only... No, I actually do have another dye that I can use. I have these guys, the blue orchids, that we can convert into light blue dye as well. That'll get us the light blue, and I actually think that there are some cornflowers right over there, and some oxeye daisies as well. And there's even some lilies down that direction as also. We've got ourselves a couple of additional flowers from what we needed here. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these lilacs down here, and the other I am going to go ahead and convert into the dye that we need. So we've got ourselves the magenta along with our pink. We've got the blue. We need to get the yellow as well. So we've got some nice colors there. We'll get the cornflower for our blue dye. I could have used lapis for that since I have a lot of it, but since lapis is a bit of a finite resource, I like to conserve that wherever possible. And then we'll get the white shulker there as well. And then the only other one that I have to grab right now is some red. And I need to convert that to red dye before I can use it on a shulker box. But those are the 9 shulker boxes that we have right now. We've got our brown, red, pink, green, magenta, light blue, yellow, blue, and white. Now there's a ton of colors that I'm missing, but we will be sure to track those down eventually just so we can kind of color coordinate what we have. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and store all of the non-essential ones in here. I'm going to keep this one on me because I need that. And then we'll put the rest of them in here. Some nice little content stored away in our ender chest, and we will eventually convert more of these shulker shells into shulker boxes as needed. Or maybe we'll start selling them, I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you think. So that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to spend quite some time here at my skeleton grinder mending up some of my tools and gear and making sure that we're ready to go for that big episode on Tuesday. So if you're excited for that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you know when that video goes live to assure that you don't miss anything. Until then, I'll be here. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.